Hey, welcome. Chaba here from Game of Conversions. And in this video, I want to show you a case study of a front-end lead generation funnel that I'm running right now that's currently breaking even. In fact, there's a ROAS of 1.23. But the more impressive part is that the landing page itself is converting at, get this, over 90%. So 90.51%, which if you know anything about conversion rate optimization, front-end funnels, copywriting, direct response marketing, conversion marketing in general, it's just crazy. And it's not after just 10 conversions or something like that. After 274 visitors, out of those, I got 248 conversions. And this is with cold traffic Facebook ads, okay? I'm gonna show you how that's possible and what you have to do in order to get that result. But maybe it's a fluke, right? Well, not quite, because if I look at this one, as you can see, it's also converting at 81.54% out of 100 and a few conversions. This is the organic version of the same page. And then this is the retargeting version of the same page, which is converting at 71.43%. So at this point, hundreds of conversions. It's a little bit, hard to say this is just a fluke or a one-off. There's a consistent element here. Sure, there is some sort of variance between all these things, but still, you got to say 90%, 80%, 70%, pretty freaking good, right? A lot of people would love it if they could have conversion rates on their landing page like this. But Chaba, conversion rates on the landing page doesn't mean anything on its own, right? Well, that's why I'm going to show you this. This is the conversion rate on the sales page that people get once they opt into my email list. This sells a product called the Conversion Operating System Master Guide. I'm gonna leave a link to it in this video, but we're gonna also cover the sales page for it as well, so you can see what the offer is and why it converts so high. And again, if you know anything about conversions, you know that an almost 18% conversion rate for cold traffic, this is ice cold traffic who are seeing me the first time, that's pretty freaking impressive. If most people can get 2-3%, they're already relatively happy with it. And guess what? I've seen this relatively consistently over the last month, okay? Yes, it might change. It will probably lower down as I start to scale up this ad campaign and reach more and more people. But still, these are pretty cool numbers. So in this video, I want to break down the funnel, the specific metrics. Hopefully you're going to find this helpful. We're going to see the Facebook ads. We're going to see the ads themselves. We're going to see the landing page. We're going to see the sales page. I'm even going to show you like email stats as well, because I am sending a bunch of follow-up emails. One of my key specialties is follow-up emails, especially once people sign up to your email list. I call my system the imprinting sequence, and I even have a book about it called the Rapid Lead Activator, which is a more 80-20 version of this whole concept. Again, I'm going to leave a link to it in the description. It's basically the same lead magnet that people can get on Facebook. So this is the landing page for it, but I like to eat my own dog food. So like if I'm teaching about this, why not give you the chance to also subscribe and see it in action as well, because I think you're gonna love it. So that being said, let's just jump into it. Oh, and before I do that, if you like these types of videos, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new, all that good stuff, because I want the algorithm to reach more relevant people who might find this helpful. So let's take a look at the ads themselves. I'm using a purchase campaign objective for the ad itself. If I go here, you can see that right now, the daily budget is just $75. I've run similar ads at $300, $400 daily budget as well, but I always like to start lower and then gradually scale it up. At one point, this specific campaign as well was at 125, but that ad set started to just perform quite poorly all of a sudden, and that happens all the time when it comes to media buying. But as you can see, nothing specific here. It's just the purchase campaign objective, or now they call it the sales campaign objective. Really important if you want to get high quality people, and that's what we're aiming for here, okay? So if I go back here and if I click in this, as you can see, like the ad spend wasn't really that super high, right? Like tons of agencies and tons of other people spend orders of magnitudes more on this, but I'm a solopreneur, okay? And I also primarily help people who are solopreneurs. And I do realize that these types of case studies are much more relevant for people than if I were to show you some agency account in which, I don't know, we spent $50,000 in a month for a client or something like that. Because to a lot of coaches, consultants, experts, people who have their own email list, who are selling themselves their own digital products and coaching and services, that's not that relevant. So I wanted to keep this as real as possible. Because hopefully you're going to find this helpful. So as you can see, there was one ad spend that was one ad set that was my primary ad set for a long time. It spent $2,300, and originally it worked well, but about a week ago, not even a week, like a few days ago, it started to massively underperform. And again, that can happen. It just can happen. And as you can see, eventually the ROAS, the return on ad spend, dropped to 0.61, which meant out of every $1 I put in the system, I get out 61 cents. Not bad at all. Basically, it means I'm buying leads at a discount, at a significant discount, like a 61% discount. I'm investing that money into leads, which I'm going to monetize later on via emails, because I send almost daily emails in my follow-up system and in my broadcast emails as well. But one of a quick tip that I can give you almost immediately when it comes to media buying, and I heard this from a mentor of mine, they said that 80% of media buying is basically just duplicating ad sets, because sometimes things break. Sometimes the algorithm starts to punish you for some obscure, weird reason. Something happens, and then it just, performance basically drops off a cliff, okay? In that case, what you do is you duplicate the ad set, same everything, and that's the same thing here as well. As you can see, control copy, and then it starts to perform again. And that's why I dropped back the ad spend to $75, because I wanted to start again with a smaller budget and then gradually scale it up. How gradually, you say? Well, I like to usually do like 20% every 2 days, 25% every 2 days, to not really break the algorithm in a way. But as you can see right now, the current ROAS for this is 1.23. Again, there are a lot of people, gurus, so-called gurus and bros out there, who are like saying, wow, I get a 20x ROI and ROAS on my ad spend. Well, cool, dude. Yeah, of course. It's an isolated thing. Maybe it works for a while. Maybe it works for some obscure reason, but let's be real here, okay? Most people, almost nobody is going to see that. This one's much more realistic. And in fact, it's still pretty good, because what this means is that I'm generating leads for free, high quality leads, super high quality leads, and I'm making a small profit, like 23% profit as well on the front end, which is awesome, because then later on I'm going to sell them more high ticket stuff as well, and different other digital products. So I'm definitely going to recoup my investment, like even more of it, right? I would probably still make these leads profitable for sure, but this one is just easy from the get-go. Now, one thing you can notice immediately is that the CPM, the cost per mille, cost per 1,000 impressions, is really high for this. Now, I teach people in the copywriting, marketing, digital marketing, email marketing space, which is a very, very competitive niche. It's expensive. Facebook knows this, right? And I get high CPM. So a lot of people would be discouraged by this. And I'm targeting mostly US-based people, or like tier 1 countries for sure. So this is definitely high. But that's one of the key things for giving you high quality people who also buy and who also convert at 90% on the landing page. So they're not just looky-loos, and they convert almost 18% on the thank you page. So that's one of the keys. And in order to get that, my targeting is basically, I basically exported about a year's worth of purchases from Thrivecart, which is my shopping cart, like checkout page solution, and as like an Excel file. I uploaded it as a custom audience, and then I created a lookalike audience based on that, targeting, I think, the like 6 or 7 countries: US, Canada, UK, Australia, Germany, and maybe a few other like Western European countries. That's it, because based on my research, I see that most of my buyers definitely come from those countries. In fact, like 2/3 of my buyers come from the US, because they are the one who appreciate this type of marketing more. And of course, I do my content in English and all my stuff in English, so there's a natural fit there as well. So as you can see, the CPM is high, but people are buying, like, not just the product itself, but they're buying upsells because of this as well. Now, this product that I'm selling after the opt-in normally costs $99, but for 4 days, people can get it for $29. So there's a timed promotion there, which lasts for 4 days, and they can buy it for $29. However, I have 2 bump offers as well on the checkout page, and I have like 3 to 4 upsells, and I'm gonna probably add more and optimize more as well, because a lot of people are taking them, and this has a massive, massive effect on boosting your AOV. Your average order value, and making the whole thing profitable. If I didn't have upsells, the 4 purchases would be $29 by 4. That's like 76. So yeah, I spent almost $400 acquiring these buyers, but I only would have made back 74. Suddenly, the whole economics of the funnel is broken. Not good. But with the upsells, well, suddenly it's a different story, because people are picking up other things as well. In fact, recently, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, I had a customer who basically bought, apart from one, every single upsell. So instead of just buying a $29 product, they spent $300 something with me in that front-end short funnel, right? A lot of people call these types of offers pocket change offers, for example, or like there are different names to it, but it's just like some impulse buy, quickly and easily usable, something that people buy into, and then that helps them offset your ad spend, and that introduces them to your world, not just as freebie seekers, but as customers as well. So let's take a look at cost per lead as well. Again, as you can see, like, cost per leads are super high. A lot of people, they wish they could have like cheap cost per leads. But the problem is, again, that it's not just about cost per leads. It's about cost per acquisition, ultimately. And sometimes you need to pay more. In fact, in most cases, you have to pay more for higher quality leads, right? Shocker, I know, but that's how it works. And also because I'm targeting people as lookalike audiences who are the most, who are closest to my already existing customer base, right? Obviously, since they are customers, they are in the custom of buying something. Facebook also knows this, and they're going to charge me more for it. But it doesn't matter. I'm willing to pay $100 cost per lead as well if those people buy at least $100 worth of stuff from me. In fact, they would probably be exponentially more likely to buy my $5,000 product, or my $10,000 product, or something else as well. Also, as you can see, when it comes to the steps of the funnel itself, checkouts initiated 4 and purchases 4. So it means 100% of people who clicked on the checkout page actually bought. Pretty freaking good. This one, the other ad set, out of 26 initiated checkouts, 22 of them bought. Again, super high percentage. Usually what you see is the complete inverse. It's usually what you see is that 80-something% of people abandon their cart. That's why you send out a lot of cart abandonments emails to try to save some of those sales. But here, we're fixing the problem up front, because we're targeting like high quality people, very high quality people. And you can also see it in the click-through rates as well. Again, if you're like from another country, like Hungary, or some middle European country, Central European country, or something like that, these stats might be low for you because you're used to higher click-through rates, drastically lower CPMs. So you could be like, well, these are terrible. Well, okay, but I'm targeting some of the most expensive traffic in the US, in some of the most expensive niches out there. That's why it's a mega competitive field. And that's why these numbers can still work. And all things considered, if we put things in context, these are considered great. Like a 6.21% click-through rate all, that's pretty good. Unique click-through rate could be put a little higher. That's true. But 2.46%, that's pretty good. I would be happy if it stayed like that. Now, another thing you have to notice is there's a big difference between link clicks and website landing page views. 48, 36, 280, 200. What happens here is that, and this is actually like you lose a lot of people this way, and most people don't even realize, once people click on your ad, it doesn't mean that they're going to land on your website. Sometimes they get redirected for some reason. Sometimes the whole thing breaks. Sometimes your website doesn't load almost instantly, so people just bail out. Sometimes you have bots or people who are not real who click on it. Sometimes Facebook sends you fake traffic by nature to test certain parts of your funnel. So you're always going to see a big difference here. And the faster you can make your website, the better. So I haven't figured out properly how to reliably increase this. Sometimes the difference is not as big. Now it's big. It's like 30%. That's a big difference. It would be nice to get it under 20%. I'm still working on fixing that thing, but that's what conversion rate optimizing funnels is for, right? But still, even with these numbers, the whole thing works for now. So yeah, I mean, this is it regarding the ads themselves. As you can see, it's actually pretty simple, and I'm just using image ads, okay, as well. But because I see that this video is getting a little long now, I'm going to stop right here, and we're going to be continuing this in the next video, in which I'm going to be breaking down the ad itself. And then we're going to be taking a look at other strategic elements of the funnel too. So hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment. What was your number one takeaway, your biggest aha moment or insight from this video? And then keep an eye on for the next one. It's going to be the next video in the series. Cheers.